Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
Hello, my fellow breadheads, and welcome to One and Done Recap Show on Sundays. Your fast break for all things college basketball, powered by drroto.com. I am your host, Chris Napier, a.k.a. Napesy Hustle. You can find me on X at The Real Napier, and I am joined by my brother in arms here in the Green Screens universe. He is the captain of our ship, El Capitan. You can find him on X at MC Holland34. Mr. Mike Holland, what's up, brother?
Yo, what's up, bro? It's live before lock season, so yeah, I'm back. It's been like 3 hours. That slate sucked. I told you guys Corey Floyd was going to do that. And then, yeah, I mean, we had the pieces. We're just going to put them all together. So, but it's CBB season, man, so we're just going to try to bring all the content we can, man. It's glad to bring these Sunday shows. These are great for, refreshing for the week, bringing up, MidMajor Minute, talking about, these mid-major conferences as they're going to be a lot of tournaments going on in March that we're going to want to stay ahead of. So, yeah, man, I'm looking forward to the week to come and just looking forward to all the madness that's about to happen.
Oh, it's that season, man. We got, 6 weeks until the big tournament, and a lot of things are going to be coming through here. But before we get started with everything, I want to make sure everybody goes out there and likes and subscribes, get all that information that you want, hit that notification button, and be like our winners in that one and done invitational that we had on Saturday. Big congrats to Mount Hollywood for taking first place. Mount Hollywood for taking first place, and then our boy Cam taking down third place, man.
Yeah, Cam got third, man.
Yeah.
Who got second? I didn't place, so I don't know. I got beat down.
This guy, yours truly.
You took that.
It's always fun to be in there with our listeners and compete with everybody. But, I'm not going to take a victory lap or anything like that because today's slate just destroyed me.
Sounds like Mama Rocks feels the same, man. Got the old crushed dreams from Keisei Tominaga. 4% in like the smaller $12 tournament. I would have been 100% if I'd known that. Saying what up, do fellas? What it do,
Mama Rocks, for sure. Love seeing you, Mama Rocks, in here. Love seeing everybody get in that chat. Let's hear what you got to say out there. So we will head into our headlines for the week. Let's get started here. We're going to start with number 8, Kansas knocking off number 4, Houston at home. Battle of heavyweights here, Mike. Kansas put it on them, 78-65. What you got on that one?
Yeah, man. I don't think anyone saw Kansas shooting 69% from the field against the number 1 defense, adjusted defense in the country. Welcome to the Big 12 once again, Houston. What a clinic, man. I mean, geez, just the offense was so good. 20 assists for Kansas. You hardly see that in college basketball. And 2, you hardly see it against the number 1 defense. So I don't really know what to think about that. I mean, Houston doesn't have the most dynamic offense, so Kansas's struggles are really on the defensive side. Offensively with John Furphy, I mean, I guess he's going to be a superstar. I don't know. We all laughed. Andy Katz, he dropped like a preseason top 10 wings in college basketball. Furphy being coming over for overseas from Australia, and we were like, this guy's not even starting. This guy's list is an absolute joke. And somehow Andy Katz wheeled this thing into he gets a lot of crap because I don't know how close he's paying attention or whatever. But he gets a lot of crap on Twitter and everything about lists that he puts out and stuff. And now all of a sudden, Johnny Furphy looks like one of the best players in college basketball. He had 17-8. Hunter Dickinson poured on 28-4, and then Kevin McCullough with 17-7-3. I guess that's the new big 3 for Kansas, Chris. It's kind of weird, man.
Yeah, Furphy time, right?
Furphy time.
It was a big win for those Jayhawks, man. I mean, a lot of people thought this would be the game that would take them out of the hunt for the Big 12,
Yeah.
But things aren't getting any easier for either one of these teams. I mean, they're both 6-3 in league play here. But moving on here to Duke and UNC.
Yeah.
Big game here. Another one, another heavyweight match, man. North Carolina, number 3, fended off Duke down the stretch here. Mike, Baycott, 25-10-5 in a 93-84 win. You know, we joked about it before about Baycott having these down games. I'm like, I'm still going to play him. But then I didn't play him, and then he goes off.
Oh, yeah. He only 29% of people played him. So, yeah, I was part of that 29%, and I made a little bit of money, but I gave it all away today. So, what's crazy is that Duke shot nearly 51% from the field. Really, how they lost the turnover battle 10-5, and then just didn't make enough threes. Got outshot from the 3-point line. So Jared McCain, the awesome freshman for them, went 23-11. He's looked great. And then even though North Carolina won, I know we have a lot of Tar Heel Nation joining the One and Done show. I was actually a little more impressed with Duke because I've been a little hard on them recently. If they can play like that, going down the stretch, we had them as our preseason number 1. Feels like they'll kind of get back to that type of play. And speaking of the Tar Heel side, I told you guys in the offseason that this was going to happen. The additions of Ingram, Cormac Ryan, it's been awesome, man. His versatility on both ends, it's pretty crazy. He was 21-13 in the win, like 21-13. We keep saying he's not going to get 10-plus rebounds. Well, he's just doing it every game. So, and that, of course, is kind of taking away from Baycott. Well, it didn't this time because those two dominated the front court, which is kind of crazy because Filipowski actually had a decent game. Mark Mitchell didn't do much, which is kind of the reason why both of these guys went off. RJ Davis, Elliot Cadeau, Cormac Ryan, they weren't big factors, but Trimble came off the bench and actually had a pretty good game. Obviously, they're looking like a number 1 seed from the ACC. So, yeah, man, that was another top 10 matchup that was a lot of fun to watch. Sorry you didn't get on Baycott.
Yeah, I mean, this week has been just chock full of them. But, speaking of them, I mean, that loss against Georgia Tech earlier in the week it's been like a one-off, right? Like, I mean, like you said, they control their destiny for the number 1 seed down the stretch. So real great to see that. Real quick, we did have another comment come through. Probably, I think it was about today's slate.
Mason Meyer coming through. Remember when you slept on Nebraska? I do remember that, but Mason only jumps on here whenever Nebraska comes off a big win. I don't know. They're looking like a tournament team, though. So, I wouldn't see them win Wisconsin or the Iowa or the Rutgers or the Maryland or the Illinois game. But, whatever. That was today. So that was a good overtime game, though, man. But no, they look great. 16-7, like 37th in offense. The defense, hasn't been great in Big Ten play, but man, I'm happy. I love Rick Mass. We love to cover the mid-majors. So watching him come over from Bradley, Keisei Tominaga, obviously a fun player to watch. Bryce Williams hurt me today, so I'm a little off on Nebraska right now.
Hey, I mean, he's like me. Anytime we talk about Arizona State, I'm happy to throw in a comment here and there.
Yeah, exactly.
Anytime my team wins, when we lose, no, I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't say much. So time to move on here. Actually, before we move on, thank you for the comment, Mason. Appreciate it. Everybody get in the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe. Do your part. Get the Green Screens universe to where we want to be. I think we're at 760 something. We're going up.
We're right there.
We're to the moon, right?
That's to the moon. I think that's where Jay and Eric are tonight. I think they're
on the moon. Yeah,
they're on the moon right now. So.
Well, like I said, let's go ahead and move on over to the SEC, where number 5 Tennessee dropped triple digits, 103 points on the road to beat number 10 Kentucky here. Connect had 16 of those points, man. That's all he had.
Yeah,
Mike,
that's it.
That's it, man. Are you more impressed with Tennessee's offense or more worried about Kentucky's just god-awful defense lately?
Yeah, that's a great question. And we knew Connect, he was going to bring a spark to this offense this year. But they had a bunch of guys come back from the last few years. Like all these guys have been in Rick Barnes' system, Vescovy, Triple J, Ziegler coming off the injury, and then Jonas Adu. Like nobody saw the offensive growth that happened with him. But when you can mix all those things, and even Gainey's play off the bench, Meshack in his second year, I mean, now they have a big time offense that can really explode. And now you have a national title contender. And then for the Kentucky side, like, their defense, they got shredded the last few weeks. It's basically been like target season. Had that double top 10 finish on that South Carolina game where they gave up almost 80 points to South Carolina, and South Carolina doesn't even want to try to score the ball. So that's kind of, they're trying to run the clock out. Obviously giving up 103 to Tennessee, and then 94 to Florida, 96 to Georgia. So yeah, I know Kentucky has a great offense, but they're not going to make it to the second weekend of the tournament if they continue to play this type of defense. And it's really from the perimeter, like Onyenso, Bradshaw, they're 7-footers. They've done a good job defending the rim, but I mean, if you block 6 shots, that's fine. But if they get to the basket with ease another 25 times, like it kind of offsets that. Also, you're just opening up the lane. The shot blockers having to come over and play help defense. There's just open people. They're not going to shoot the ball. They're going to pass it out and hit the three. So that's what's been happening. The 3 ball's been killing Kentucky. But hey, we always say they're young. They finally got all their pieces now. Even though DJ Wagner, coming off a little bit of an injury right now. Time to get it cleaned up defensively. Otherwise, if Kentucky doesn't get out of the second weekend this year, I don't want to say Coach Cal is on the hot seat because there's just no way. Like, he can kind of just do what he wants. But I mean, it'll be more realistic than what we ever thought would probably happen. So he definitely needs to get that done to keep some of the pressure off of him. But yeah, man, how about your boy today? Those are the top 10 games from yesterday. Zach Edey, and that's your guy, dude, because I know you just roster him every time and make all the money whenever he's on the slate, and I don't. They upended Wisconsin at home in a Big Ten battle, man. What were your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, man, it was a huge win, and another battle of top 10s like we were talking about. This has been one of the best weekends so far in college basketball, I feel.
Absolutely.
Just with these big games, man. I mean, but, I got to show love to my boy Zach Edey, man. He just, like you said, he just solidifies the fact that no matter what he costs, you have to roster him.
Yes, because, dude, he had like 20 fantasy points in overtime. Like, he wasn't going to hit. And then I think I texted y'all and I was like, it doesn't matter what I do. Like, he's just going to get 60.
Like 15,000 or 1,500 or 15,000, just roster him in and get a bunch of value guys,
Exactly.
I mean, like in this game, like he got himself, double in this win. I mean, there's no end in sight for his production coming up. I mean, it's just perfect. But it isn't just Zach Edey in this show here. It's these guards. They're playing at another level. I mean, namely Lance Jones.
Oh, man, I've been banging on him.
Yeah, man, he's been playing at an incredible level, man. It's insane. But, on the Wisconsin side, though, I mean, it's a tough loss. I mean, this brings them to second place in the Big Ten. Purdue, they out-rebounded them 42-29, and, I mean, that's the big difference maker there,
Right.
You get all these second chances, and there's not much you can do there other than rebound better. But the big thing here is, I mean, they play again in the last game of the season, of the regular season. I mean, that's going to be one to watch. I mean, I'm excited to see that one coming up for sure. So that is our headlines, unless you have anything more on that game there.
Nah, man. I think you summed it up pretty much, man. Like, it's just tough when I know the officiating is, always getting scrutinized about Zach Edey. He's like the new Shaq. One more year of this crap, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, like I said before, I mean, I got a Michigan State friend who just talks so much mess about him, and it's all about the officiating. But like you said, one more year, and then we'll get rid of him, and then we'll talk about some other guy that's getting all the calls. But on to one of my favorite segments, shining a light onto the teams that they just don't get the spotlight because they're the mid-majors. And Mike, you're coming in for this mid-major minute.
I'm back for some good mid-major minute. So we've been spotlighting basically a couple of teams every Sunday on the recap show. I wanted to a couple of leagues and a couple of teams. Today I wanted to jump into the Summit League, which is always a fun league. And man, to be honest, this might be the most wide open league in the country when it comes to who will win the regular season crown and the auto bid at the end of the conference tourney. So you got South Dakota State and North Dakota State sitting at 6-3. St. Thomas, Nebraska, Omaha, and Oral Roberts are all one game behind at 5-4. And you have two more teams, Denver and Kansas City, are 2 games back at 4-5. That's not how we saw this playing out in the preseason. All these games are close. This conference is 7th in close game percentage. And all these games really, I mean, they're games down the stretch. They're 28th in blowout percentage out of all the conferences. So you're getting tight contested games. South Dakota State was the darling preseason pick. They're led by fantastic guard Zeke Mayo, 19-6-3, a really, really good player. North Dakota kind of defying the metrics, man. They're getting it done. They're pounding the glass, getting second opportunities, keeping teams from getting second opportunities. Maybe a little bit of luck on the side, but hey, better to be lucky than good sometimes. St. Thomas, they're beating up people inside. They lost Andrew Rohde to Virginia this offseason, but that hasn't stopped them from being the second best offense in the league and then the number 1 defense during league play. So a really good job there by St. Thomas. Nebraska, Omaha, they are the number 1 offense in the league. They're led by forward Frankie Fiedler. He's averaging 19 points and 5 rebounds, and the Oral Roberts is the best 3-point shooting team in the league. They play at a blistering pace. They obviously lost Vanover, Ace Smith last year, as well as their head coach, Paul Mills, but still doing their thing. Denver's on a 3-game skid, but they have one of the most improved offensive players in the country. He actually leads the country in scoring. We talked about him a few weeks ago, Tommy Bruner. And finally, Kansas City has the best assist rate in the conference. They really know how to share the ball, and they have the number 2 defense. That's always a strong mix to continue to win league games. So it's anybody's league crown and anybody's auto bid come March. I doubt that we see a double-double in this conference. And then also wanted to talk about the WAC. Grand Canyon quietly going about their business, one of the top mid-major teams in the country. They're sitting at 11-1 in conference play. Tarleton State, the closest competition, 2 games behind at 8-3. Coach Bryce Drew done a remarkable job building this program. The only losses this year, they're 21-2. They have a neutral site 7-point loss to South Carolina, which actually ends up looking really good right now. And then they had a conference road loss at Seattle a few weeks ago, which we thought the preseason Seattle would be a contender for the WAC. Obviously with the disparity here right now, it looks like Grand Canyon's going to run away from this thing. The Antelopes boast the strongest backcourt in the conference and one of the top ones in the country. They have former Kansas guard Tyon Grant Foster. He's finally healthy, leads the team with 19 points per game. And you got versatile guard Ray Harrison stashing 14, 3-3. And you got former preseason WAC player of the year Javon Blackshear. He's back. He's rounding into form. Injuries have kind of derailed the last few years of his career, which has been unfortunate. But those 3 together, it's a lot of fun to watch. Don't think anyone is catching them, but look out for Tarleton State and Seattle to play bid stealer in the WAC conference tournament. And that's going to do it for this edition of Mid-Major Minute. That beat, though.
Oh, sorry. Oh, man. Always nice to have you do those mid-major minutes. Like I said, it's one of my favorite segments because, these teams don't get the shine that they ought to,
Yeah.
We're doing so well in their own conferences,
Yeah.
It's awesome, man. But love that as always. Keep an eye out for that mid-major minute out there in the Twitter sphere, the TikTok sphere, all those spheres. And make sure you like and follow all of us on social media, everything. Hit those notification bells. Do your part in the Green Screens universe. But moving on to our world famous power rankings.
They're bad.
You know what, Mike? I'm going to take number 10. I'm going to start us off.
Okay.
I'm going to go with number 10 at Alabama.
Well,
Crimson Tide. 16-6 right now, 8-1 in conference. They weren't ranked before last week, but they're sitting atop the SEC all by themselves. They're number 1 on their own. They had that brutal non-conference schedule there, but they had that nice win yesterday over Mississippi State. So that's pretty good. They have a road game at Auburn, their rival, this Wednesday, and it's looming large over them. But, Mike, let's hear who you got at number 9.
Yeah, number 9, we're throwing the Kansas Jayhawks back in the mix after their big win over Houston. They also picked up a 30-point win against Oklahoma State as well this week. Johnny Furphy season, like you said earlier. Question is, can they pick up some key road wins to have a chance to win the outright title? That's going to be whoever can win some road games at the top of the Big 12 is going to win the Big 12 crown. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing splits. So really starts at Kansas State tomorrow, I believe. Yeah, I think they are on the slate tomorrow for DFS. So, and that old 2-gamer. So Kansas at number 9. Who's shining at number 8?
For sure. And keep an eye out here in just a few. We'll get you that core 4 for tomorrow's slate. But number 8, we have Marquette, the Fighting Shaka Smarts, sitting at 17-5, 8-3 in the conference. They're back. They've won 6 straight. And you know what, Mike? They beat down Georgetown again yesterday. It was a brutal win on that one. But they have a tough stretch coming up against St. John's, Butler, and UConn. So we'll see how they fare in that. Who you got at number 7?
Number 7, we're going to go with Wisconsin, 16-6, 8-3, down 1 spot. Obviously a tough game. Have a chance there down the stretch to maybe do something special against Purdue. And fell on the road earlier in the week to Nebraska, so another notch in Nebraska's belt there. Now sitting in second behind the Boilermakers in the Big Ten like we talked about. They still have a dangerous offense as we enter February, so look for them to kind of stay at the top. But, I think obviously Purdue is always going to kind of rise above in the end. That's why you have to play all the games and not just the first 4 or 5. Who you got at number 6?
Number 6, we have Auburn, 18-4, 7-2 in conference in the SEC. They're up 1 spot here. They picked up a nice road win at Ole Miss yesterday. They sit in a tie for second place in SEC because who's number 1? Those Bama, even though Auburn's above them. So, hey, there you go.
There you go. Coach,
the old rivalry,
Yeah.
Coach Bro, he has such a deep squad here. But like I said before, I cannot wait for this matchup on Wednesday against Alabama. It's going to be huge. Huge. What do you got in the top 5? Who you got at number 5 here?
Top five. It's going to be those Fighting NASA astronomers, the Houston Cougars, 19-3, 6-3 in conference, down 1 spot. Look, lost at Kansas on the road. I don't know why they were favored. I love analytics and metrics just like the next person, but that didn't make any sense. Even Kelvin Sampson, I think Bill Self was weirded out by it. But that's not a bad loss. Expect their defense to bounce back. That was the clinic. I do not see something like that happening again. We'll have to see though. Maybe a few chinks in the armor, we'll have to check it out. But who we got at number 4?
Numero Cuatro, the Tennessee Vols, sitting at 16-5, 6-2 in the SEC. They are up 1 spot. And you know why? Because we talked about their big win yesterday on the road at Kentucky. That was a big win. They scored 103 points. They just, like we were talking about, they have a great offense to match their defense, and they're right in position to make some noise in the SEC down the stretch, man. That number 4, Tennessee is who we got there. Who you got at number 3?
Yeah, number 3, North Carolina. Come on and raise up, 18-4, 10-1 in the conference. We talked about quickly forgetting about that bad loss at Georgia Tech. Maybe a controversial call, whatever. It's college basketball. Things happen. As we stated earlier, they control their own destiny. The impact of Ingram and Ryan, I could go on all day about that. So North Carolina sitting at number 3, not at number 20, but who's at number 2, my friend?
Number 2, Purdue, sitting at 21-2, 10-2 in conference. They are up 1 spot from last week. They took control of the Big Ten today with that win at Wisconsin against those Badgers. As I said before, Zach Edey is amazing. He's just the man. But really, as I said before, it's Lance Jones who has them playing and surging in this time of year. Boilermakers are just primed for another number 1 seed here. Who you got as our number 1 in our power rankings here, Mike?
Yeah, number 1, UConn, 20-2, 10-1, no change. Defending champs keep taking care of business. Kevin missed the St. John's game. It doesn't matter, man. Whatever. You just take whoever off. They just got too many weapons on both ends. And Tristan Newton, love what he did on Saturday. Wish I'd played more of him in DFS. Man. So that is our top 10 power ranking. Some new people joining, but the top looks pretty familiar.
Yeah, not a lot will change at the top, but it's all fluid, right? Who knows what it's going to be 4 weeks from now, right? It's going to be interesting. That's why we love doing these power rankings, and I hope everybody out there loves these power rankings as well. Let us know in the chats, let us know in the comments, and again, follow us, like, subscribe, do your part. And Mike, it looks like we have a couple other comments coming in here.
Yeah, Cam says he hates 2 games.
Yeah.
Cam hates Mondays. Hey, Mama Rocks. Let's see. Sun Sensational. Good show, guys. Appreciate it. Got a few more things to wrap up before we get out of here.
Absolutely appreciate it. And I know even though you hate those 2 game slates, we still got that Core Four coming for you. But right now, one of our new segments that we've been getting a lot of love for, and we love doing it, is going to be the Bubble Watch. Mike, who do you got on our Bubble Watch, our first team here?
Yeah, I got to talk about Florida, man. All the hype from earlier in the week. They're 15-7, 5-4 in the SEC. Now their net rating is a 39. They're 1-7 in the quad one, so they finally got the quad one win at Kentucky earlier this week. Seems like everybody's beating Kentucky, though. Tennessee got the win, South Carolina. So, maybe Kentucky, it's still a great win, but, everybody's doing it right now. So, I know some bracketologists have them in. I don't know. I wouldn't have them in yet. Like, just because you play a lot of quad one games, like you got to win a few of them. So probably have to get, for me, comfortably, like probably 2 more. I just can't see a 2-9, 2-10 quad one resume getting them in. I know they're 3-0 in quad 2, but they had a chance to, like, last second loss to Texas A&M. It's like, come on, like just a little bit more from Todd Golden's squad to get them there, man. So I got Florida on the bubble. Who is our second team on the bubble, Mr. Chris?
The bubble. We have Cincinnati sitting at 15-7. They are 4-5 in the Big 12. Right now, they are number 30 in net. That's up 5 spots from before, but it's still they're still on the bubble. They're 2-4 in quad 1, 2-2 in quad 2. Big 12 is just boosting their resume for sure, right?
It's a pretty good league.
Yeah, it's a pretty good league. It's not too bad, right?
Yeah, I don't think Cam likes the Big 12.
Yeah, he hates them, right? But with the Big 12, like we were talking about, we've said it many times. We know they're going to get at least 10 teams in, but are they going to be that 9th team? Are they going to be that 10th team? Well, that's why they're on the bubble here. They have 2 huge games coming up next up against Houston, and then my boy Brock Purdy's Iowa State.
Super Bowl time.
Super Bowl. And they need to get at least one of these to get off this bubble here. But who you got as our third bubble team here, Mike?
Yeah, we'll talk about Butler, man. 15-7, 6-5 in the Big East. Their net is number 48 ranking, so actually surprised. The previous ranking was 45. I don't know, man. Like, it just feels weird, but they're 3-6 in the quad one in the Big East, which I feel is like the second best league in the country. I know SEC, we got a lot of power ranking teams SEC, so it feels weird saying Big East, right? But like, they've come out storming out of nowhere, man. Like, huge win over Creighton. I think that's why, right? Like, I'm just like, they beat my Creighton team, so I don't want to put them in. But it feels like most of the teams, like, they need another. Probably with them, it feels like maybe one more quad one win and just don't lose to DePaul or Georgetown. So it feels like the Big East is going to get 7 in. It's kind of what we're seeing around as well. So our last team on here, man, kind of shocking, but here we are. Who we got?
Yeah, very shocking. We have Memphis sitting at 16-6, 5-4 in the AAC. Their net ranking is 80, right?
Yeah.
We were so high on these guys. Right now, they're 1-1 in Q1 and 4-3 in quad 2s. As you're saying, the mighty have fallen hard. Like 3 weeks ago, we had them at number 5 in our power rankings.
Who did that?
What happened?
We'll blame Eric on that one, man.
Yeah, there you go. What happened is they dropped 4 straight and barely squeaked by Wichita State yesterday on a buzzer beater. These guys, Memphis they're just walking a very, very fine line, and it's kind of scary with them, especially since we had them so high earlier in the year.
Penny, man. It wouldn't be a season unless Memphis didn't have something crazy going on, and here we go.
Exactly. So those are our bubble teams. Bubble Watch. Love this new segment. Appreciate y'all's appreciation for it, essentially. Let us know who y'all have on the bubble, and let's talk it out. Let's hear it. I want to hear what you guys think.
Let's talk about it. Sounds like a good R&B song.
Yeah, right. It wouldn't be a one and done show without having somebody sing something here, right? I mean, he's not here, but we'll still get it going, right?
Exactly, my man.
But on to, as Cam was talking about, this 2-game slate tomorrow. Of course, we got a core 4 for you. So, Mike, who are we building these the winning lineup? What are we building around them here?
We got to address this comment from Cam.
Yeah.
This is hilarious. He says he's got nothing against the Big 12. I just think they have too many teams ranked. Some of those since have fallen out. OU, K-State. Yeah, I mean, those do look good. Yep, absolutely, man. Look, I don't know, man. I don't make the rules, and when like 14 of the teams are in the like the remaining schedules, they're on the top 16 of remaining hardest schedules remaining. Like, yeah, I don't know. I didn't make the rules, man. It just is what it is. So, look, Texas and Oklahoma are leaving, so I'm not going to give a shit. But actually, there's some great teams coming in: Arizona, Colorado, like Arizona State.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll drop them down a little bit. You only have 13. But anyway, I digress.
We don't talk about that. We don't talk about that. We're looking at next year. We're looking at next year.
But for the core 4, man, weird slate. There's like nobody to play it forward. So it's either like you just pay for Norchad or Hunter Dickinson, or else you are kind of in hell. Only a few options at 4. Obviously, it's 4 teams, right? So, but it's just weird to see like this type of discrepancy at the forward position. So we're gonna go with Reese Beekman, of course, 8.2K, Matt Cleveland at 6.6, Will McNair at 5.5, and Jordan Minor at 5.4. Leaves you with $6,000 per player, which is usually a hell of a lot more than we usually we guys like 5,300, 5,400. Hey, figure out that value play. So Cam dropping in again saying that was nice of you to make Nate C. Hustle feel good, Mike. Spread the love, man. Absolutely, dude. This guy's been killing me about Brock Purdy. So, like I just every now and then I'll spread a little bit of love, but only when it's warranted. So Arizona State's playing okay right now. But that's the core, man. Just kind of a weird slate. Like every time Virginia's on the slate, you hate it. But I love Virginia against like getting that pace up against Miami. Miami's defense hasn't been great. So like Beekman and Minor. Norchad hasn't been great defensively. He's also been battling a lot of stuff. Will McNair from Kansas State, like he's kind of like the only big there. You can play value Colbert there at like 3,600 because I don't think we're sure what's going on with Nguessen. So that's a cheap play there that you can throw in there. And really, it's kind of like pick the one guy on Miami that's going to be part of the 60-something points that, Virginia doesn't want to play more than 50 possessions, and they'd rather just go home. It's like, hey, first to 50, and we'll just – whoever gets there will just go home. So just not a lot of fantasy points out there in that game. No Kansas guys, which feels kind of weird, but you have 6K. You can go up and you can get a McCullough. You can go up and get I don't want to say Furphy. It's a thing now. You can go up and get Hunter Dickinson if you want with that price with Colbert as a value option. So excited to get to Tuesday and Wednesday's slates, which pretty sure we'll be here for at least one of those. We'll see. We'll see, man. Tis the season. We'll be dropping bets. I know you went 1-1 on your bets today, so great job on that. We'll see if you can drop a 2-0 piece tomorrow. So we'll see what you come up with, and we'll probably drop sometime tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know how you see that is if you follow us. I'm gonna say it one last time. Follow, like and subscribe. You can follow me at The Real Napier, at MCH Hall or MC Holland 34. Sorry. You can follow Get Green Screens. You can get One and Done CBB on Twitter.
Right there at the bottom.
But do your part. Follow us and tell your friends, family, like I always say, the annoying guy at the water cooler that you just don't like. We'll like him. We take everybody. But big thank you for watching in and coming in and listening to me and Mike go back and forth. Mike's angel voice that I commented earlier on is live before lock. So always keep an eye out for those live before lock announcements. But like I said, big thank you to all our commenters. We have Mama Rocks, Cam, Sensational, a lot of normal people coming in here, but let's bring some more in. Appreciate every single one of you. And as I always say, go make a stranger smile. You never know what they're going through. But for now, let's go get that bread.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.